it's very difficult for a judge to handle a case with as many defendants and attorneys, and then to handle a case that takes so long to conclude. And I think he's made all of the residents of Fulton County proud that he is a judge, a Superior Court judge in our county. I want to thank this team of lawyers, Fonnie Willis and Clint Rucker, who are our main lawyers. They just did an outstanding job. And I know you're not supposed to do it at a press conference, but I'm just going to stop and give them a little round of applause because they did such a great job. And all of the other legal staff members from the DA's office, and these defendants were convicted under the RICO Act with the exception of one, and our RICO expert in this case volunteered to work with the DA's office, John Floyd, and we really want to thank John. We want to thank his law firm, the Bondurette Law Firm, for donating his services. We wish that we could get a lot of other people to come and work for us free of charge, but we had John, and John did an outstanding job. So because of our restraints, the thing that we just want to say to the public, our entire effort in this case was simply to get our community to stop and take a look at our educational system. That's what we wanted. We wanted people to look at the educational system that their children attended every day, to make some assessment. After they made that assessment, to look to see what we had to do as a community to move forward. I think because of the decision of this jury today, that people will stop. I think people will stop and they will make an assessment of our educational system. And we're just hoping that when they make that assessment, it is one based upon the children in our community, because that's what we've been fighting for. We've been fighting for the children in our community, particularly those children who were deprived by this cheating scandal. So thank you all, thank the jurors, thank you all very much.
Vindication for your decision to go forward.
Well, again, as I said, our decision was a decision we thought that was focused upon our children. When we saw the evidence, it was really not a hard decision. And we're hoping now that all of us in our community will just pause and make this examination.
What do you think about the judge's decision to take the defendants into custody immediately?
Well, again, that's within the judge's discretion, and because the sentencing is something that we're facing, we don't want to comment on it. But I think we've heard the judge. We've seen him during this trial. He has been very forthright in what he thought the defendant should do, and I think the judge simply stuck to what he has said during the entire trial.
You had 11 defendants who were convicted today, but what about all the people who who were taken away in handcuffs today, who admitted to cheating?
And what about them?
The fact that they're not going to serve any time.
Maybe I missed the question.
Do you feel that you did the right thing in allowing those plea deals to go through?
Oh yeah, I think we absolutely did the right thing, because in every criminal case, when a defendant takes responsibility, we always consider a plea. And that's the same thing that we did in this case. I also believe because of that, those 21 people who entered guilty pleas, what it did is it allowed our community to understand that this was not some fantasy created by the DA's office, that it involved a real case with real facts. And so I really think that that turned out to be a very good move on the part of whoever decided to do it.
All these defendants, all this evidence, has your office ever faced a bigger organizational challenge than organizing the evidence in this case?
No, this is by far the largest, most complex case we've ever tried in the Fulton County DA's office.
Back to those plea deals, the decision for them to take the plea deals, do you think that that's why you got the verdict that you did today, for the cooperation in this case?
Well, I think it helped. I think when the jurors get a chance to hear from somebody who's already entered a guilty plea, It certainly, I think, will allow a juror to understand that a crime did in fact take place. So I believe that those guilty pleas played a part in the jury verdict. But I think the most important thing that those pleas, the part that they played, is for our community. It allowed people to understand that this was a substantial case that involved substantial wrongdoing. You won't get substantial wrongdoing when you get 21 guilty pleas. It's easy for people to recognize that something bad happened.
Was the only way you were going to get them, though, was to allow their slates to be cleaned eventually so that there's no record for those 21?
I don't know. I don't know that we can hypothesize about that, but I can just tell you what happened.
Mr. Howard, what do you want to see happen to Armstead Salters? Would you like to see him?
No, we're awaiting that sentencing, so we aren't going to comment on what the judge should do or any recommendations at this time.
But clearly, he's reneged on his plea deal.
As I said, we're just going to wait for the judge and let him exercise his discretion.
Will you ask for prison? Will
What?
you ask for prison for Armstead Salters?
We'll make a recommendation on that day. And so we aren't making a recommendation today, but we will make a recommendation at the time of sentencing.
Can you talk about the toll this has taken on your office? You had a lot of people involved, some people have gone, coming on, and the amount of money that may have been spent?
Well, we're great today. We're great today. I mean, that's what we do. We are trial lawyers. We pride ourselves as an office of trial lawyers, and we got a complicated case to try, and we tried it. So I don't know whether or not there's much of a particular toll. In the DA's office, the natural climate is people come in and they train. One of the persons who work with us is a federal judge now. People move on to higher positions. One of the other lawyers now, I believe, is with CNN. I don't know if you all consider that a high position, but that's what happened in the DA's office.
Do you concede this is the most expensive case your office has had?
I don't know. We're not bean counters. We don't count the money. We were just counting the children. So I couldn't tell you.
So you're saying whatever amount of money was worth it?
My children attend the Atlanta public school system, and to me, it's worth it, whatever we spend. I think that's why I pay tax dollars. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. I thought you had a
Sir,
question.
and to get you on the record following the sentencing, is there a night-long break in store for your team?
No, we got to go back to work on Monday.
That was a good try, though.
We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you all very much here.
Good try, Ms. Bott.
Oh, baby, looking out for this.